What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your love and hip hop New York review, and this episode was sort of okay. So we've had some real shit going on this season, and so to sort of go back to this episode was a lot of the manufactured storyline stuff. So to kind of go back to the manufactured stuff was a little hard. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're getting with the show, but after just dealing with just some Oh, just I thought I had smeared my lipstick. But after just getting with some real stuff these last couple of weeks, this was kind of like all right, whatever. So we have like Jewels. Jewels is a little cutie. And this is real. Like we know that his situation is real. It's not a manufactured storyline. But we see him with the kids and saying, "What should I get mommy for her anniversary?" And the daughter's like, "A ring." Well, first she said you could get her a necklace and get us matching necklaces. He was like, "You got some money?" She was like, "Mm-hmm." He was like, "Oh, for real?" She told me, "Some I got my tooth fairy money." It's just amazing to me how kids just like equate like the kids' mindset is they're so innocent. It's so funny. Real quick, friend of mine, he was telling me about his daughter for Christmas. She wanted a Switch, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not getting you a Switch because they already had like PlayStation and stuff." And he was like, to get a Nintendo Switch, we'd have to get all new games. We'd have to start all over again. He was like, "Daddy ain't got the money for that." So she's talking to one of his other friends talking about, "My whole life, all I wanted was a Switch." She ate. Talking about, and Daddy got all this money. He got a jar full of money on his dresser. You know how people collect change. But in her mind, he was rich because he had a jar full of money on his dresser, and she didn't understand why he couldn't buy her a Switch. Anyway, y'all, I thought it was a cute story. Anyway, so she got a Switch for Christmas, right? Anyway, so but yeah, so we see Joel's with his kids, and it was a really cute moment. We see him talking to his mom, saying, "Look, I really want, you know, I'm gonna ask, I'm doing some shows, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm gonna ask Kim Bella to marry me. And his mom was like, "Are you sure that's what you want to do? Like, you're not just doing that because your ass about to go to jail. Like, you really want to do it?" And he was like, "Nah, that's my baby. Like, I want to spend the rest of my life with her. Like, that's who I want to be with." And I just always find it interesting that you could be with somebody for 20 years, have kids with them, live together, do everything else, and you easy to say, yes, this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with, yet still it takes something like this for you to just say, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. It's amazing to me, but better late than never. And I think he means it. I think it's we know that they're married now. They got married, but I'm happy for them. And it was just but his mom was like, you know, you need to make things right with your brother. Seems like some situation went down where Jewels and Kimbella fell out. And somehow the brother got into it with Kimbella. Kimbella felt like the brother took Jewel's side instead of just staying neutral. Well, that's his brother. Like, he's going to take sides. Like, it's hard. I mean, it's easy to say stay neutral in situations like that. But when it's your family, it's your family. When it's your brother, it's your brother. So, you know, and Jewels was like, look, I want to be cool with everybody. His mother's like, you really need to make, excuse me. She was like, you really need to make things good, make things cool with the family. And he was, Joel just seemed like he's just like a go along and get along kind of guy. He was like, I want to be here for everybody. I'm cool with everybody. So, excuse me. So, we'll see how maybe that'll play into the next couple of episodes of them getting things together, what have you. Let me rewind for a second. It was a really cute scene with Rich and his daughter, and I thought it was a really interesting scene from the point of view of Rich talking to his daughter and was like, "Look, first of all, I want to check on you and make sure you know how you feel about everything going on. I'm about to head back to New York. How you feeling?" Basically, we know that there is no option for a plea deal, that it's going to court, and Miracle is looking at aggravated assault, and if she gets convicted, she's looking at up to 20 years in jail. Like, it is what it is. You in Mississippi. You're a black woman in Mississippi, boo. I don't know how that's gonna work out for you, player. And that's not to make light of the situation. I'm real serious. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work out for you. But the one thing I like is that Rich was like, I need you to understand that what you grew up seeing is not normal. That is not how normal people act in a relationship. That's not okay. And you are mine. And if anybody puts their hands on you, you pick up the phone and you call me. Because you're mine. I said, I know that's right, Rich. So I thought that was a really nice daddy-daughter moment. And it's a real daddy-daughter moment. Because what he's saying is correct. Like, you grew up seeing some bullshit. I didn't realize how bad it was that you were seeing. But I'm letting you know now that's not normal. So I don't want you thinking it's normal. I don't want you going into no relationship thinking it's normal. That is not normal. So I thought that was cool, but that was just a quick little snippet at the beginning of the episode. All right, so talked about Jewels. Let's talk about Miss Sydney for a minute, okay? First of all, they showed Sydney without the makeup, without the wig, and all that. She looked really nice, very au natural. She looked very nice, and that doesn't mean that. A wig and some makeup, ain't nothing wrong with wig and some makeup, but, you don't need you don't need all that extra. Like, you're really a pretty woman. So we see her sort of getting herself together for the day. She's going for her consultation for her gender reassignment. And Sydney, I don't know what you think a woman is. I don't know what you think being a woman is. I don't know what your perception of being a real woman is. But as someone who was born with the parts, let me say this to you. Being raunchy, being inappropriate, that's not what being a woman is about. It's not. It's not cute, no matter who does it. Talking to your doctor in your consultation about your gender reassignment and telling him, well, I still want to be able to fuck because I like to fuck. There's a way to have that conversation without it sounding so crass. And maybe I'm sounding like the old lady on the porch, but that is just crass. And it's not cute. Saying to him, well, will I still be able to take big dick? Because I like them big. Again, there's a way to have that conversation without coming off so raunchy. Just raunchy. And so he was uncomfortable. And I was uncomfortable watching you talking to him. He said, what gender you prefer? She said, I prefer her. I prefer she. He was like, okay. And I prefer that bad bitch. He was like, well, we're not going to use that here. And I'm like, read the room, boo. Read the room. I think it was very obvious that he was uncomfortable with your conversation. And again, he's a doctor. So he can be clinical with you. But the raunchiness, it's not necessary. But anyway, but they talk about the gender reassignment, and he talked about how much it costs now. I refuse to believe that you didn't know the price of that damn surgery before now. I refuse to believe that you ain't done research, looked it up, maybe even had a consultation before. I don't know. But you ain't gonna sit here and tell me you were in shock at how much it was gonna cost for you to get your gender reassignment. But neither here nor there, moving on. We see her meeting up with Mariah, and, they don't even really rehash the whole winery thing. Mariah was like, look, I ain't even trying to go down there again. Is it me, or does this, and I'm not even, old to funky. I wasn't even trying to do a funky right there. But does it seem like there was a lot of voiceovers in this episode? Did y'all notice half of Mariah's conversation was a voiceover? And then later on, when Jonathan is talking to Maggie, a lot of that conversation was, is it me? Does it seem like that to me? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just real conscious of that voiceover piece now. I don't know. But we see them talking. And Mariah is letting Sydney know, like, look, what you need is a bop. Like, if you're trying to get money to get this gender reassignment, you're trying to make some money, you need a bop. You need to get in the studio. You need to make something that's going to get people's heads nodding and go ahead and make you some quick money. Do a couple of shows and get you your $30,000. Like, I'm I'm gonna be honest with you. I grew a lot of respect for Mariah in this episode because Mariah showed me some stuff in this episode. Mariah stood up and immediately, off the top of her head, gave you a couple of bars. Now I ain't saying that they was like, Remy Ma back in the day bars. No, these were some straight up bops. This was some but she said it so quick and she gave it to us so quick. I said, okay, Mariah know what she's talking about. Mariah got a little bit of an ear to this. You know what I mean? And we see where later on she actually gets Sydney in. They don't show us them in the studio, but she actually put something together for for Sydney, and she did more for Sydney in this one episode as far as getting her in the studio than Jacquay, Rich, Naya, all of them done did all damn season. And what I find interesting is, and what people need to understand is, like, this was that whole beef with Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, where Nicki want to always talk about how Cardi don't write her rhymes. Okay, sure, she doesn't. She does not write all of her rhymes. But she gets in that booth and she lays the motherfucking tracks. Everybody ain't a writer. And I know that I grew up with that in this whole hip-hop industry. Oh, they don't write their raps. Oh, they don't write their raps. Oh, they don't write their raps. For some reason, that's been like this, this mantle that we stand on in the hip-hop industry. If you don't write your raps, then it must not be important. I will never forget and I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan, but one of my favorite Jay-Z lyrics is when he says, Ghostwriter, I make more money off your songs than you do. Because everybody goes, a whole lot of people that you think ain't getting ghostwriters got ghostwriters. Anyway, I'm off topic. Let's get back. So, we'll get back to Sydney and Mariah, but I just thought that was really interesting how Mariah was like, I'm going to take you under my wing. I'm going to get you this bot. We're going to get you this $40,000 so you can go ahead and do what you got to do, boo. I got you. And I thought that was real. I thought that was a real moment with them. Okay. Maggie, Manio. They ain't been around in a couple of weeks. So this particular episode, we found out that Maggie was a singer. At one point, when that's how she met Manio. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That's how they met. She was a singer in the studio, but then, who was that? Her brother that got sick. Her sister was dying of cancer, and she got shot. And she said, life just sort of took it away. Like, I had to go out here. She has her own hair company now where she sells bundles and extensions and all that good stuff. And that's where she makes her money. But now that life is sort of kind of slowing down for her, she wants to get back into the studio. Here's the problem. She's a singer. She wants to be a rapper now. Manio is like, I don't know how I feel about that. I think if she had said, I'm ready to get back into the studio and make some songs, I think he would have been here for it. But she wants to, not only does she want to just jump into the studio and become a rapper now, then she wants to get on one of his tracks. And he was like, whoa. I've never even heard you rap. You've never said anything about wanting to be a rapper. And now all of a sudden you want to be a rapper and you want to get on one of my tracks? I don't know how I feel about that. And I'm kind of with him on that one. Like, you have not proven yourself. And then you're going to say, well, I mean, if I can sing, I can rap. It's just talking with an attitude. See, now you're being disrespectful. Anybody who knows anything about rap knows that rap ain't just talking with an attitude. Like, come on now. Now you're being disrespectful. Because you know good and damn well there's more to rapping than just talking with an attitude. Like, come on now, Maggie. If you had said, can I sing the hook? If you had said, can I give you a fire-ass intro? But for you to just be like, I mean, if I can sing, I can rap. And it's not that big of a deal. Like, not only are you being disrespectful to what I do, you acting like it ain't shit. Like, I don't know. I would have felt some kind of way too, Maggie, at the way you kind of came at him. But then we find out, because Jonathan knows every fucking body. So now he having lunch with Maggie and Alexis, because he know them too. And Alexis was like, yeah, well, Mano asked me to get on this track. And it happened to be the same track Maggie wanted to get on, right? And Alexis was like, well, I'm just letting you know I'm going into the studio. I don't want no beef. I want to be upfront, respect. That's his girlfriend. You letting her know, look. And she said, look, matter of fact, why don't you come by? Like, I don't want no shit. Why don't you come by to the studio? And so, of course, she drops by the studio. And she starts coming at Mano about, so you going to ask Alexis to be on the record that I told you I wanted to be on? And so he was like, what? He's like, what? I didn't even know you was coming to the studio. What you talking about? And once again, giving Alexis respect, Alexis was like, okay, see, I ain't know it was no problems with this record. I didn't know it was no beef with this record. I'm going to tell you what I'm about to do, though. I'm about to grab my purse and I'm about to dip on out of here. And I'm going to let y'all handle that because I don't want no shit. Alexis is like, look, I just want to be with a record label where people ain't going to be shooting at me when we at lunch, okay? That's all I want. I just want to sign to a record label where the motherfucker ain't going to jail. That's all I want right now. And so she kind of dips out the studio. Maggie and Mano get into it. And, you know, she tells him, well, I tell you what, you know what, don't worry about it. If you don't believe in me, I believe in myself, and I'm going to go ahead and do what I do. We'll get back to that later, because that's sort of something that happened at the end. All right. So Rich is back in town. He meets up with, sorry, y'all. Thirsty. He meets back up with Naya and Jacque. And Naya's like, look, I have done my penance. I have done the best I could do. I can do no more. I quit Sydney Star. And she proceeds to let him know all the stuff that went down with Sydney since he's been gone. And Jacque was like, yeah, I'm here to kind of co-sign. I was there. I saw her kind of acting up. I saw a couple of these situations. And so, you know, Rich was like, all right, well, a deal's a deal. You know, you did what you said you was gonna do. It's not your fault it didn't work out. I appreciate you putting the time in. I'm gonna have a talk with Sydney. So we see him meet up with Sydney later on, and Mariah is with her. And so Rich walks in, and he like, what Mariah doing here? Like, why is she here? And he was like, you had to bring backup. And she was like, well, no, I just felt like I needed somebody here that was going to have my back or whatever. He was like, yeah, like I said, so you needed to bring backup. And Mariah was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She was like, so you got a problem with me being here, but you ain't got no problem. Never had no problem with me being in your bed. I said, Rich, are y'all still fucking? What that 3 seasons ago? Well, come to find out that, yeah, they on again, off again, and right now they are very on again. And Mariah is like, don't get brand new. Like, don't call me later on and it's all good and blah, blah, blah. But then now right here, you want to front in front of, Sydney and act like it ain't nothing going on here. And what I find to be very interesting is that tell of two stories. Once again, Rich acting like it ain't nothing. It's just a booty call. They friends with benefits. Mariah acting like it's more to the story. So I always find that very interesting. And, once again, it's 3 years later. Mariah, Rich didn't already... I don't know what you want from this man. I don't know what you think he's going to give you. I don't know. I think he's been very clear what he is and isn't willing to give you. But what's interesting, though, is Mariah plays this bop. That's the best we have heard Sydney Star sound all season. And it is a little bop. Again, not no lyrical, breakthroughs, okay? No lyrical breakthroughs. But it's a bop. It's got a nice beat. Sydney sounds pretty decent on it. I wish they had shown footage of them actually going into the studio because I would have loved to see how that chemistry went. Mariah's sitting there like a boss. Like, yeah, I know it's a bop. Like, I know I did my thing. And she was sort of in her feelings about it because she was like, Rich sitting here acting like he don't realize that this is a good song and that I done bought him a bop and I done did something for Sydney and he acting like, I ain't did shit. So she gets up like, you know what, I tell you what, you call me later. Matter of fact, don't worry about it. I'll call you later. Since you want to act brand new and you want to act like, ain't nothing going down here. But Rich does admit that it's a decent song and he's like, you know what? This is like heads and tails better than anything I've heard you do up until this point. And instead of thanking Mariah and talking to Mariah and figuring out what is it that you did to get her to sound good, because Mr. Super Producer Jacque couldn't get shit out of her. You know what I'm saying? What is it that you were able to do to get her to sound the way she sound? But neither here nor there. Rich was like, maybe he bought her as a little lifeline because, I was ready to drop her ass. But now we got this little bop. I might be able to do something with this. Matter of fact, you can buy this. It sounds like the song. They advertising the song on the show or whatever. So All right. Last but not least, oh, next to last but not least, we see that Maggie's in the studio singing a song. She says she's going back to her roots. Since Mano doesn't believe in her, she's going back to her roots and she's going to sing for her supper, honey. And come to find out, the guy that did the track is a guy by the name of Young Hollywood. And we find out that later on, we find out that Young Hollywood actually was gunned down. And, you know, Maggie was like, wow, you know, 12 hours after we laid this track, he's killed. Now, I don't know the timeline of this whole situation, but it is what it is. And rest in peace to Mr. Young Hollywood. You know, I don't know him, but you know, this, you know, gun violence is gun violence, and I'm sick of it. You know, and like they said, bullets don't have no names. You know, you tired of always hearing about this bullet, this person that shot down this. You know, it's just a mess. It's a mess. But, you know, again, rest in peace to that producer who sound like was a good guy. They sound like he was a good guy. The other thing we see is Jewels actually does propose to Kim Bella. And again, it's that same footage that most of us have seen of him pulling her up on stage and telling the whole crowd about how she's the one and only and how she holds him down and that, you know, that's the love of his life. And then he gets down on one knee and he proposes. And Kim Bella said, you know, he does that a lot. You know, when I go on tour with him, he'll pull me on stage and tell the crowd how much he loves me or whatever. And then I'll just go on back to my corner and do my own thing. She was like, but this time he had a little surprise for me. So, you know, congratulations to Kim Bella and Jewels. And that's pretty much what we got this episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.